Do you ever wonder why we as a society allow ourselves to love one type of animal, yet we eat the others and ignore the truth of how they really got to our plates? Or we ignore what factory farms are doing to our health and environment? Not only do factory farms cause animals to suffer brutal mutilations, it also is the #1 contributor to heart disease, which is the main cause of death in the U.S. Factory farming hurts everyone. What I'm about to tell you is the shocking, horrible truth behind factory farming. Each factory farm chicken has about 6/10 of a square foot space. Because of these tight spaces, they are debeaked. The tight spaces leads them to be aggressive to one another. All this is done without any painkillers whatsoever, and you can see the cramped spaces of all these chickens that are just jam-packed in there. And you can see right here that the chicken has been debeaked, and the area where it's been debeaked is infected and bleeding and pus-filled. And you can see the look in its eyes and how much pain it's actually going through right now.
Yeah.
Pigtails are cut off as well because they too, as well as chickens, have no space to move. And so sometimes they act out against each other by biting each other's tails. And right here, their teeth are also sometimes smashed out of their mouths to keep them from biting each other and causing harm. And you can see that this hook is being hooked up in the pig's mouth to be able to smash its teeth out. Pigs are kept in these crates with no room to move around, just enough room to stand up and lay down their whole entire lives. Because of this, the pigs become insane, and then they root on the metal bars that are holding them their prisoners for life. You can see right here the blood on the ground. These pigs don't know enough. They're quite mad and insane from not being able to move at all, that they are biting the bars and all the blood right here that's on the ground. Chickens, cows, and pigs all die having their throats slit and drained. This is a slow death, and sometimes workers become impatient and they start skinning and dismembering the animals before they're even dead. Imagine being fully conscious while somebody is skinning you alive and dismembering you. Dairy cows have it worse. They are treated nothing more than milk machines. They are drained of their milk several times a day, and they are kept in crates just like the pigs with no room to move. After they have went lame and they're not able to produce any milk, they are sent to be sold for slaughter. But because of the muscle deterioration, they sometimes cannot walk. As you can see right here, this cow cannot get up and move, and the deformity of its leg that's off to the side. Right here, this other cow cannot move. They're trying to pull it. Often these cows are beaten, kicked, they are prodded with hot solder irons to get them to be able to get up and move. This is typical of a day on a farm. This happens several times a day with cows not being able to move. These workers in the factories abuse these animals daily, all for fun. There are thousands of videos that show this type of abuse that's going on over the internet. I urge you to watch these videos. In these videos, you can see the fear in the animals' eyes, all because they had the unfortunate fate of being born on a factory farm. These workers right here are jumping on top of this pig for fun. They think this is fun, and they're laughing and having a good old time about it. Another picture here. This worker is kicking this cow in the face. Just kicking it for no reason at all. Sorry, this is moving a little slow. This worker is just punching the cow. He thinks it's fun to sit and punch the cow repeatedly over and over. There are ag-gag laws that are put into place, and factory farms do not want these laws. They do not want it. They don't want you to see what's going on behind closed doors, because this is a typical day at a factory farm. The USDA allows meat from animals with cancerous lesions and pus-filled wounds to be certified as USDA pure. So injuries and illnesses often go untreated because this is considered USDA pure. This is actually what you're eating. This is what you're getting in the meats that you're eating daily. Because they don't have to do any extra, put any extra money into making sure this animal is not in pain. This is what you're consuming. The stench of increments is so overpowering that 40% of deaths are due to respiratory ailments from the ammonia in the feces. This cow is laying in its own feces. This is just infested in every orifice of this cow. This is also what you're consuming. Organic does not mean you are eating a healthy animal. It means they were not given any pesticides or antibiotics. But that does not mean that they were not standing in a feedlot or enduring the same tortures of non-organic animals. They are still cramped into tiny spaces and are at no higher risk for infection, and actually they're at higher risks for infections because of no antibiotics. There is no such thing as a humane factory farm. There is no such thing as humane slaughter. Humane is an industry term designed to stop you from questioning and to keep you buying. But if factory farms had glass walls, we would all be vegetarian. Let's say something, do something, and we'll change something. These animals are suffering. Don't let that be because of you. Besides the sheer inhumane torture of these animals, here are some other facts that might shock you. If every American skipped one meal of chicken per week, the carbon dioxide savings would be the same as taking more than 500,000 cars off the U.S. roads. It takes 16 pounds of grain to produce just 1 pound of animal flesh. That 16 pounds could feed 10 people per day. More than 70% of our grain that we grow in this country is fed to farmed animals. If we took that and we gave it to all the starving people in this world, nobody would have to go hungry. You save more water by not eating a pound of beef than you do by not showering for 6 months, because it takes 2,500 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of meat. The primary source of Salmonella and E. coli and other food-borne pathogens found in poultry and meat is animal feces. That's what you're consuming. These animals have feelings, emotions, intelligence, and trust me, if you can love your dog or love your cat, you can just as much love a pig, a chicken, or a cow, or a goat if you just got to know them. And thank you for listening to my speech. I'm going to show you, we have Dominic, Tyler, Andy, and Sarah.